Somebody sent me something about the Ukraine trying to control the media now.
Are we anti-Ukraine?
No, no.
Oh, why would they crack down on the media?
Well, I think because of the war effort. You know, if the media is saying things like, "Oh, you know, Ukraine is corrupt," or "Oh, Ukraine has done this," critics say a new media law signed by Zelensky could restrict press freedom in Ukraine. Lawmakers who passed the bill said it would help meet European Union conditions for membership, but journalists have denounced it as a move toward censorship. Oh. Imagine if you have to join the European Union, you have to fucking... What is that? Some of the law's most stringent provisions were relaxed in response to the criticism. Serious concerns about the independence of the regulatory body remain, domestic and international news media groups said on Friday, noting that they were still receiving details of the final 279-page legislation. The law expands the authority of Ukraine's state broadcasting regulator to cover the online and print news media. That's not good. Previous drafts gave the regulator the power to fine news media outlets, revoke their licenses, temporarily block certain online outlets without a court order, and request that social media platforms and search giants like Google remove content that violates the law. Well, you know, they're doing that over in America. I mean, we found out that because of the Twitter files. When Elon released all the Twitter files, they found that the United States government was actively trying to suppress the voices of certain people that were saying things they found disagreeable on Twitter.
Yeah, to me,
a fact.
Yeah. I got attacked for this take. I said that was like and I get it, obviously, but I assume that was like a no duh to me. Like, that's what I expected. Like,
Right.
I wasn't, like, I get suppressed. Like the second Elon took over my Twitter, and I'm sure, I don't know if you use Twitter, but mine went way up.
Like, I got 900,000 new followers in like a couple of weeks.
Correct. So
crazy.
I didn't get to that, but I direct up arrow. Like I went from couldn't gain a follower to up.
You're being suppressed.
And I knew I was, so I wasn't surprised. That's why I was like, oh, that's not surprising if you're paying attention. I got attacked. People don't pay any attention. They acted like I was on the left on that. It's like, no, I was one of the ones being suppressed. I'm just saying, yeah, no shit. That's what they do.
Yeah, I don't complain about that shit, but I'm definitely aware of my Instagram used to move way quicker.
Same.
And then something happened a while back where it slowed down by a significant margin, the amount of growth. And I'm like, how do you complain when you have 16 million followers? Like, do you really complain that you're somehow or another suppressed? Or am I really suppressed? Or maybe it's because I'm not doing reels. You know what? Maybe there's like a logical reason for it. I don't know. I mean, I think there's a lot of fucking algorithms and weird shit at play when it comes to Instagram and all those social media companies.
Also, it's not only the handpicking of people, but if people complain, if they just, this is offensive, this is whatever, there's a certain number of those that will trigger you to get pushed down. Now, for whatever reason, one thing that also I think is kind of self-evident, if you're talking left and right, the left is far more savvy, like with social media. Like the right will generally just wants to sling it out. They'll let you say anything, and they're not going to complain, and they're not going to try to violate, like, ooh, that's a violation complaint. The left will, and it's a good tactic to get the right off.
But it's also because the left is in control of all of the social media platforms,
100%.
where the right has nothing.
100%.
I mean, there's no social media platform. I mean, there's people that are trying to accuse Elon Musk of being right-wing, but I think that's just because Elon Musk has said that Democrats are out of their fucking minds.
He's said what I've said in many different ways. Now, I don't know how I go back and forth on how I feel about Elon. Sometimes I think he's genius. Other times, like, he may be getting a little full of himself. Like, I don't think he bought Twitter for the reasons he's saying he did, to be some great humanitarian. I think he bought it because he got mad almost, and then he tried to get out of it. But that's the other thing. Like, stop complaining on the left. He tried to withdraw from buying Twitter, and the CEO or whatever stuck him to the price because it made money, and they got a great price. So
they got a ridiculous price.
Ridiculous.
He gave them way more than it's worth, and he had a mindset of going into it. There was two things going on. One, he believed that it's very bad for democracy in general when you have suppression of free speech. And I agree with that. He really means that. And he sees it happening to him, right? And so he sees it happening to people that he knows and people whose voices he's respected. And he saw that, like, the Babylon Bee got banned.
Which is crazy.
Which is crazy.
Crazy.
For calling Rachel Levine the man of the year.
Yeah,
a biological male calling him the male of the year, like
Crazy.
That's
crazy.
Yeah, that's so offensive.
The Babylon Bee getting kicked off, crazy. Yes.
Yeah, so he was like, well, that's enough. And then the reason why he tried to pull out of it, he's like, they're not giving me data on the actual amount of fake accounts.
Correct.
There was a former FBI guy. Pull up that story, Jamie. This former FBI guy estimated the actual amount of fake accounts on Twitter, and he was like, it could be as high as 80%. So if you're buying something, and they say, well, it's 95% people, it's 5% bots, but we're trying to figure that out. And he's like, how are you trying to figure that out? Show me. And they won't show him. And he's like, show me your data that shows you. And they show him 100 accounts. They went over 100 accounts. Over 80% of Twitter accounts are likely bots, former FBI security specialist, which is fucking wild. So if that's like 20% of the people on Twitter are actual humans and 80% of it is propaganda, either by publicity firms or super PACs or whoever the fuck is trying to manipulate narratives,